Slavery is back.
Welcome to a place where private business profit from a captive labour force, yet pennies are spent on medical services to a population in which the Indigenous, the poor and the mentally ill are overrepresented. Where isolation, humiliation and degradation are facts of life. Welcome to prison.
It depends who's telling the story, I suppose. The prisoners would have one view, the people who work in the prison system would have another, and I think it's up to people to decide where the truth is.
Give government propaganda and the media spin doctors the flick. And check out Doin' Time for news, views and tunes on prison issues from Guantanamo Bay to Christmas Island to prisons and detention centres everywhere. Every Monday at 4 p.m. on your community radio 3CR.
We are still fired up and we're still talking about revolution.
Hello and welcome to the Doin' Time show. This is 3CR Community Radio, 855 AM on the dial, streaming live on www.3cr.org.au. And a warning that this episode of Doin' Time may contain audio images of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people who have died and discussion of deaths in custody. First up on the show, we'll hear from Nicole Lee, President of People with Disability Australia, and we will be speaking with her about calls for a radical response to end segregation and discrimination. We will discuss with Nicole not only about the radical response, but also to look at the release of the Disability Royal Commission's final report, which isn't available yet, but there is absolutely no harm in speaking with her about the implications of that future report. And then after that, we'll interview Mariam and Mahumi, and they are a refugee group called 12,000 Captive Souls. Well, they're active too. But yeah, I'll just repeat that name. It's a group 12,000 Captive Souls, and they have started a week-long protest outside the office of Home Affairs Minister Claire O'Neill. And this protest will run for about a week, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. each weekday at 17 to 19 Atherton Road, Oakley, Victoria. And we're going to be speaking about the fast tracking system, and we're going to be speaking directly with these two very, very amazing women about what's happening and how they are affected and rejected under the fast track system. I'm very excited now to welcome Nicole to the radio show. But before we do that, I just want to read out a quote from her. I love reading out quotes from Nicole. And our segregation is perpetuated by Australia's laws, policies and frameworks. For too long, we've been sidelined and our human rights have been violated. A radical overhaul is needed. Hello, Nicole. Welcome to the program.
Hi. Thanks for having me on.
It's so lovely to have you again, and you've actually spoken about quite a few very important topics. Can you just tell us a little bit about what's been going on and look at the Royal Commission?
Well, ahead of the Royal Commission, we've been trying to be pretty strong in what we say around what it is that we... we're expecting from this report. There's a lot of high hopes riding on this report. You know, we didn't all divulge our trauma and the worst bits of our lives for no action to be taken or for recommendations to not be very forthright. Like you just said in the quote, calling for an end of all forms of segregation, and that includes, looking at and addressing laws where our rights are taken away, be that through mental health laws in every different state and territory, so abolishing forced treatment, seclusion and restraint, looking at the ways in which we're harmed by criminal justice systems, and finding pathways to reduce the numbers, and abolish incarceration of people with disabilities, and also, looking at guardianship laws where other people make decisions over our lives, so substitute decision-making versus supported decision-making, and supported from people in our lives that may be controlling us as well. It's a radical step, but other countries and other jurisdictions around the world are doing these things, and Australia is lagging behind when it comes to, looking at the rights of people with disabilities under, the Convention of the Rights of People with Disabilities. disability, and we really should be doing much better than we currently are.
Absolutely. You were just talking more about incarceration. Can you go more into that?
Well, the fact that, people with disabilities, and especially First Nations people with disabilities, experience higher rates of incarceration than anybody else in this country. And we need to be looking at why rather than just simply locking people up, because it is not the answer. I'm not a fan of the criminal justice system. It is not a safe place for us, whether you're a victim or whether you're not somebody that's having the finger pointed at you as doing something wrong. We're not seen as whole people. We're seen as dangerous or wrong. Our mental health records get subpoenaed into courtrooms and used against us as victims and as people who've committed, acts of usually out of poverty, or out of desperation, and we get punitive responses based on the fact that we're already behind the eight ball, based on the fact that we live with trauma, that we live in poverty, that we're not as educated, or we haven't had the opportunities that other people in the world have had, around us that have had. Yet then those things are then harnessed to give us those, to enact those responses against us. And we need to be looking at ways in which to bring that down and work towards abolishing such high numbers. Actually, just abolishing the criminal justice system in general would be brilliant.
Absolutely, and in fact having proper community-controlled services. And it's interesting. I don't know whether you heard Daniel Andrews' comments, the Premier of Victoria, recently, where he said that we can't abolish the criminal justice system unless we have an alternative. Well, hello, when's that going to be happening? But when?
Well, the thing is, we're not going to abolish the criminal justice system tomorrow. Like all of us, anybody that sits in that abolition space, we know that that's not going to happen tomorrow. But what are the steps that they could be taking right now that work us towards that? That's what we're saying. That's what we're wanting. We're pushing that abolitionist position because we want those steps that take us closer towards, bringing back things into community, bringing back things into, restorative justice pathways, safeguarding the criminal justice system would be even a step forward, protecting victims better, protecting people with psychosocial disability in courtrooms, whether they're the witness or an accused in a scenario. There's lots of things that can be done that move us closer towards having a system that works with communities versus just constantly pushing people down and having such really strong punitive responses, but that seem to harm, well, they not seem to, but do harm, certain cohorts of the community.
Tell us about the media release that People with Disability Australia have put out ahead of this report.
Yep.
How did this come about?
Well, it came about because, firstly, because the Commission is coming up to releasing that report. So we want to have a really strong stance, straight out of the gate before the report is even released around, we want to see really strong recommendations around ending all forms of segregation, from education to employment to health to parenting, all areas in which we engage with the community around us. Like segregation starts as young as kindergarten and primary school. If we're telling children who are going into prep at the age of 4.5 or 5 that they need to go somewhere different because they are other, that they are not the same, that sets up a lifetime of feeling like an outsider, feeling like you're not welcome, and feeling like you're different to everybody else. So we need to abolish that because, children as young as 5 don't know these things. They haven't been exposed to that kind of treatment, and we need to stop exposing them to it so that they don't live the lives that we did. We're not going to turn around stigma and discrimination against people with disability if we're not in the community alongside our peers, and that starts in infancy, that starts in kindergarten, that starts in primary school. If we're segregated, children aren't growing up and seeing us as just regular kids like them, beside them, playing with them and learning with them and building relationships with them. If they're not exposed to us, then they grow up with fear, they grow up with not understanding, and they grow up with stigma against it. And the only way to overturn that is we're alongside everybody else like regular members of the community, as just ordinary peers, as neighbours, as friends, as co-workers, and as, students beside other students.
Absolutely. So there really does need to be a lot of systemic and structural change, doesn't there?
absolutely, there really has to be such huge and structural and systemic change. And I find it interesting that people believe that we've come such a long way in this country. That we've closed all the major mental health institutions and psychiatric institutions around the country. But yes, we have closed the big major institutions. We've just split them up and spread them around the states. And made them more hidden. And the same with segregated housing. We've closed major, disability institutions, but all we've done is rebuild smaller group homes where people are still segregated, where people are still locked behind doors or behind great big gates and fences and have environmental restraints. It's just less visible than it used to be. It's just less overt. We've given them new names. We've given them names to make it sound like it's empowering or sound like there's autonomy there, to give it the allure and the veneer of it. But ultimately, we don't have autonomy. We don't have freedom in those environments. So therefore, there needs to be that radical change, and the community need to wake up to what's been happening, that we really haven't shifted very far in this country at all. We've just changed the language we use to justify continuing to do it.
Yeah, well, the Royal Commission was extended, wasn't it? And
yes.
I've actually done some quite extensive coverage on the Doing Time show, also in regards to people with disability and the police.
Yep.
And I just wanted to know, were there stories at the Royal Commission about that subject?
Well, there should definitely be stories in there. I know I spoke about my interaction with police and with justice systems from my own personal experience, and how difficult they are and how untrusting I feel in them. So there'd be plenty of other people, but whether or not there wasn't exactly a specific hearing on that. There was lots of areas that weren't given the attention that they fully needed. We looked at the incarceration, but have we looked at what the criminal justice system is like in and of itself for victims of crimes, and there wasn't enough, I think, done in that kind of regard, or in regards to, there was no hearing on the mental health sector and the way in which mental health laws are used against us to take away our choice and control of our own treatment options. There was no highlight on that, or the use of seclusion and restraint, even though they commissioned a report on restrictive practice, but that report leaned very heavily on Victoria's Mental Health Royal Commission. So there are areas in which it hasn't been highlighted enough. And yes, the commission got extended, but that was because nobody could predict that we had COVID, that COVID was going to impact us ongoing into the future either. But ultimately, we wanted a commission that was done well, and if that meant it went for another couple of years, then it should have gone for another couple of years, in my opinion. Do it right versus do it fast.
Absolutely, Nicole, and I'd love to have you back again to talk about your interactions with the police as a person with a disability. And I'd like to talk to you about the COVID, but we're running out of time. Are there any final comments?
No, I guess it's just watch this space, and that there will be advocacy on the other side of this report being released, that disabled people aren't going to go quietly into the night, so to speak. We don't owe anybody anything. We don't have to be grateful for anything. What we want is a report that is frank and fearless. And even if it's not, we will be frank and fearless on the other side of that report. So just to the community that no one's going to sit back and allow this not to be taken seriously.
Absolutely. We have to fight ableism, isn't it?
Yes, we certainly do.
Nicole, thank you so much for coming onto the program. It's been a pleasure as usual. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much for having me.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And that was Nicole Lee, President of People with Disability Australia. And I was just talking about a media release calling for urgent government action to end the segregation of people with disability ahead of the release of the Disability Royal Commission's final report.
Wildlife Victoria is a non-profit emergency response service committed to assisting wildlife in need across Victoria. Our trained and dedicated volunteers rescue and rehabilitate sick, injured and orphaned animals so they can be released back to their native habitat. If you see wildlife that may need our help, please contact us on 8400 7300. To donate or register to become a volunteer, hop onto our website at wildlifevictoria.org.au.
A 3CR supporter.
And in case people have just tuned in, this is the Doing Time Show, and this is Marissa, 3CR Community Radio, 855 AM on the dial. And I want to just give a brief introduction, and I'm going to be interviewing two very strong women, and they're asylum seekers, and they're down at this protest. I wish I was there. Anyway, I'm going to be interviewing them very soon, and the refugees are starting a week-long protest for permanent visas, and it's called, the group, 12,000 Captive Souls. And they're also part of the Refugee Action Collective, starting a week-long protest outside the office of Home Affairs Minister Claire O'Neill. It's going to be lasting a week, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. each weekday at, I'm going to check this number, but I think it's 17 to 19 Atherton Road, Oakley, Victoria. And we're going to be speaking to them very shortly. Mariam and Mahimi, welcome.
Hello.
It's so lovely to have you both. Now, it's Marissa from the Doing Time Show. You are live on air, but don't stress.
Yeah.
All will be well. Can you just tell me where you're from, what country you're from?
Yeah, my name is Mahbouba, and I'm from Iran, and we arrived to Australia from Iran 2013 by bus.
Both of you?
Yeah, both of us.
Both of you. All right. So who wants to start and tell me about what's happening with the protest and have some background?
I can talk.
Who am I speaking with?
Yeah, Mahbouba.
Perfect. Go ahead.
Actually, first of all, thank you for calling us and attention us. We 2 times ago, 2 times around on August and July, we've been here for business time, 10 o'clock until 2 p.m. And both of times, Claire O'Neill's office closed, deliberately actually. And then we made another decision to sit down here from 8 o'clock in the morning until 5 o'clock in the evening, Monday to Friday, 18th of September until 22nd of September, to someone make reaction and talk to us, make empathy to us, and listening to us. And today it was wonderful. It was wonderful. Lots of people from different cultures joined to us, from the Sri Lanka, from Afghanistan, from Pakistan, and Iranian community gathering together, and just like the brothers and sisters, just ask to permanent visa, just ask to solution this issue.
That's right, exactly, because from what I can gather here, Australia has rejected, under the fast-track system, and left in limbo lots of asylum seekers, including you two and your daughter too, isn't it, Mahumi, for 11 years on a bridging visa. Is that right?
Yes, actually, more than 10 years we've been by bridging visa. And when the Albanese government was elected with a promise to replace the unfair IAA with an independent refugee review tribunal, and, they acknowledged that so-called fast-track refugee system does not provide a fair, thorough, and robust assessment process. And, it's time this government let the men, women, and children failed by this unfair policy system have the permanent. They need to truly rebuild their lives as part of the community.
Well, there's really a lack of a clear and permanent residency pathway. How does that affect you two?
Oh, lots of effects, but I'm happy Mariam talk about that.
Okay. Yeah. Hello, Mariam.
Hello. Thank you for having me here today.
Welcome. It's lovely to have you. Talk to me.
Well, there is too much pressure and stress, on all of us, because, we don't have the normal, we can't live as a normal human, because most of us, we don't have work rights. Most of us, we don't have study rights. We all been under pressure, stress. when will all of this end? We just want an answer. Like once Andrew became in government, we were hoping like all these nightmares were finished, but still like everything is going on. And today all these people are gathering here just to find a solution. But like as Mahbouba said, all doors are closed. Hopefully they will hear us today. But to be honest, me as a 24 years like woman, I lost my hope because I was studying back then, and out of nowhere they told me, "Oh, you can't continue studying because of your visa." So I came here. I was 13. I had so many dreams. I was thinking like to build my life here, but out of nowhere, suddenly everything was down. They stopped me from studying, and like obviously you can feel how my heart is broken right now. And like life is hard. Life is really hard for us refugees here, and we want a solution. That's all we want. We are human. We came here. We had dreams. Especially there is too many kids. Like if you were here today, like trust me, your heart will be broken because of the kids. Most of them were crying because the pressure that on their parents. Most of them they don't know what's going to happen like to them on the future. Like most of us refugees, we heard that, if you have a problem, pack up and leave. Well, obviously, if we came, why did we came here? Because we were not safe back there. Because our kids, because of everything. But still, we don't have an answer for all this like cruelty. Hopefully, one day all this will finish. But as I told you, all of us, like our heart is broken, and we want an answer when all of this will finish.
My heart is already broken, believe me, because week after week I come into this show and I talk with people about these things, and it's awful.
It is.
So, has Claire O'Neill come out of her office? What's happened there?
Actually, today the office is closed, and some of her staff is, just like shocking when the office closed as well. And I would like to say, my feels today. I believe our kids are innocent. They are the real victims of fast-track policy. I like to say to Claire O'Neill, as a mom, as a woman, I've got 2 children.
Yeah.
The eldest one teenager, and she was here when she was 6 years old, and now 16. And she's completely disappointed for her future, and just they are here now for 5 days in a row. Instead of enjoying life in peace, they have to witness the suffering of their families. It's really hard. It's really hard to see as a mom, and they're really innocent.
Yes, they are. And also, so you and Mariam have talked about study. I just want to make sure that we give listeners an idea. So really, the fast-track system, it's not really a fast-track system, is it?
No, it's not fast and it's not fair.
Yeah. Because you've worked and paid taxes in Australia for years. So what visa were you on before you were placed on this?
Actually, we've got bridging visa. And, I was a registered nurse in my own country, Iran. And as you know, these days, I've got victim of the hijab as well from Iran. When I was nurse, I've got many times got the detention because of the hijab in the hospital, And when we came in Australia, I tried to improve my English. I just working in Darwich pathology as a specimen collector, and I was worked in the pandemic as a specimen collector with taking the swabs for the COVID test. And I feel I stood out with Australians. And now I expect the Australia support me as well. It's very hard those days, around 2 years, I worked under risk with the 3 children, for specimen collectors. But now we're working, we're paying tax, but we don't have any benefit. We don't have Medicare. Some of them, they got the children born here without any Medicare. It's really tough. No Medicare, no health,
So this bridging visa, in effect, stops you from studying, no Medicare. Can you work?
Different situation with different story. Someone got the Medicare, the other one's not. Someone can study, before university. And, when, for example, if my daughter should go to university, she's as an international student. And we can't afford to spend the money as an international student. And for my daughter, she can't understand because she wasn't go even to school in Iran. She all her life been here from kindergarten until now, And then she thinks about, I'm not equal things with her peer. It's really difficult now, and too much pressure.
A lot of pressure. So, okay, so you've got your daughter there, Mahumi, and what about you, Miriam? So you were going to university, were you?
I was studying a course to enter the university, but out of nowhere, as I told you, they just stopped me and they said, that's it. Because of your visa, you can't continue. You have to wait until they give you the permanent. After that, you can continue.
But you were on a bridging visa when you were studying, weren't you? They changed the laws.
Yeah. Because I have the visa right now, bridging, but on the paper it says no studying. And yes.
So, all right. So, what are the plans then for the week? Do you plan to write a letter to Claire O'Neill or approach her office tomorrow or during the week when it opens?
We are here, as Mahbouba said, for 5 days.
Yep.
To see what's going to happen and maybe any changes happen. Even though I lost my horse, to be honest, because, as I told you, they stopped me from studying around 5 years ago 6 years ago. And back then I was like, it's okay. Next year they might give me the visa and I can continue. After that, I used to have hope. But now, no, that's it. I gave up. To be honest, I gave up.
Let's hope that they do it soon, and they need to. And we need to fight for it, don't we, Miriam?
We have to. But, I have little brothers. The youngest one, he just finished, year 12. He got really good ATAR, but as I told you, he can't enter the uni. See, is that fair? He was studying so hard. He was a very good student at the school. And, yes, there is no visa, there is no university. Is that fair? Obviously not.
Definitely not. And that's why 3CR and shows like the Doing Time show are here so that we can spread the word and also help in your fight as asylum seekers. What's any police there at all? Any police presence at the protest?
324 police.
Yeah, federal police was here, and we've got lots of interview with the radio, different radio, SBS radio, and SBS News came over, taking the film and interview with people, and we are planning to stay every day until Friday, until someone come over and talk to us, make a sustained decision. This is really important. Nobody talks to us about their plans. Nobody talks to us, and we don't expect what's the finish. We don't limited time, And our visa is unlimited. Can you believe it? Our visa is unlimited.
Yeah.
Because no expiry, just unlimited until our process, but no idea from 2018, our family rejected by fast track. And we're still waiting to review again by federal court and IAA. It's too much. And still we've been purging visa. And if until Friday nobody talked to us and Claire O'Neill's office is still closed to our people, we've got the other plan. And even someone named Saeed started to hunger strike since yesterday for 24 hours until Friday. He sat down in Claire O'Neill's office from yesterday with the hunger strike until Friday. Hopefully everything goes well. Hopefully somebody try to empathy to us. It's really, we've got it under pressure, literally.
A hunger strike is currently happening?
Yeah, it is happening. It's been 2 days, I think.
Yeah.
And where is he?
He's standing here since yesterday.
He's a 60-years-old man. He's completely disappointed of his life.
It's very heartbreaking.
Very hard. And he made a decision from yesterday. Just sit down in Claire O'Neill's office for 24 hours until Friday with the hunger strike.
Well, I wish him, the Doing Time show wishes him the very, very best. It's really important, isn't it?
Yeah.
And something that really isn't talked about too much in the media, and this is something that I've really drawn attention to on this show, is that people who come by boat are often demonised by the government.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
That's really disgusting.
There is a question like they asked me in the protest right now. They were like, well, if you want to treat us in that way, why did you let us in? Why did you let us in? We all have kids here. They're born here. They're living here. But they don't have a future. Why did you let us in? We'd rather die in the water, but not living this life. Because now we don't have the rights. We can't live our life. We can't work in our dream jobs. We can't study. So what's the difference? We are actually in prison. And we are locked in one place. We don't know what's going to happen. Are they going to send us back? Are they going to send us, leave us here and leave us behind these locked doors until when? We don't know.
It is a prison, isn't it? It is a prison.
What's the difference? Between the prison and the life that we're living here? In prison, they can't study, they can't live their normal life, and we are doing that right now.
So you feel like you're being punished?
I am being punished. As a 13 years old who came here with lots of dreams, I am being punished. I'm actually being punished. And there is lots of times that I've been telling my parents, why did you bring us here? Right? Back in our country, we don't have the freedom. We're not living the normal life, especially in Iran. You are hearing right now what's going on there. They're killing the women. The women's not having enough rights. I know my parents, they made this decision because of me, because of my sister, my brother. But still, I'm not living the normal life.
Tell us about Iran, because I think what would be useful is for listeners to understand about Iran.
Iran.
What's going on there?
1 year ago, there was a protest, women stand up for their rights, and lots of them, they've been killed. As you've seen, the protests that they've done in Victoria, they put so many girls, so many women's photos who've been killed by the government because of not wearing the hijab, because of not giving them the rights. They stand up, they talk, but they've been shot. So, yeah.
And your parents and also Mahumi took her daughter as well to Australia thinking that there was going to be a better life, and you're on bridging visas now, indefinitely.
Yeah, but I know my parents while I look in their eyes, they are ashamed. But they can't do anything. They can't say anything. Right? I'm not going to like be mean. I'm not going to say Australia is not good. No,
Sure.
Australia is good, and we are like thanking them for letting us in. But why are they not being fair to us? What's the difference between us and other people? Like, what's the difference between our kids and other residents' kids? Why are our kids not living the normal life? Why our kids, they can't like dream for their studying, for their job, for their everything? Like, you know, most of the jobs, they don't give us the job. You know why? Because we don't have the permanent, or we don't have the citizen. Is that fair? Obviously not. I have my brother. As I told you, he got very good ATAR in year 12. The last time he was talking to me, he was like, I'm not going to continue. That's it, I gave up. I was like, why? He was like, no, that's it. Why am I studying all of this? Why am I like doing all of this while I know I'm not going to enter year 12. I'm not going to enter university. Like, you know, he came here, he was 6 years. He was only 6. And now he's talking like that. Like, you know, he was 6. He grew up here. Australia is his country now. Because he studied here. He, like, done everything here. But as I told you, Australia is not being fair with us. And back then, we used to say, it's okay, the law is going to change. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. But now it's 11 years. 11 years.
It is an absolutely appalling situation, and I'm really happy to have this opportunity to draw attention to this. It's really important.
Can I have a word with Claire and Andrew?
Absolutely.
Well, if they hear me, I just want to tell them, like, I'm here to talk on behalf of all the refugees who lost their hope and living their lives full of stress and pain. You might ask me why. Let me tell you the answer: fear of not getting the visa. Parents are being ashamed in front of their kids because they promised them for a better life, but it's been 11 years. They are locked in one place, and they don't know what's really going to happen to them later on. Will they remain without visa forever? Would they keep on dreaming for the day that they receive the visa and they can continue studying and they can work in their dream job? Things that I'm talking about them right now, just small part of what we are going through. We want someone to listen to us. We want to find a solution. Like, can you please just listen to us?
And we need to send out a very powerful message to Claire O'Neill and indeed Anthony Albanese and the Australian government to do something to help asylum seekers and refugees. This is wonderful. With that, they've done a few little things, but it's not enough.
It's not enough, right?
Anything else that you two would like to talk about?
Yeah, I would like to say all people coming today is educated. As an asylum seeker, is educated. And if the government gives them the chance and opportunity, they can contribute to Australian community. More than a decade, they work and they paying tax like Australians. However, we don't allow to buy the house. We can't get the credit card. We can't get the loan. It's not fair. You know, it's not fair to working, paying tax like the others, but stop for everything. We can't do anything. You know, we're not allowed. We don't need any Centrelink benefit. I just say loudly to everyone in the streets, we don't need Centrelink benefits. We need just feel safe here. Lots of people is a doctor, engineer, builder, and we need the opportunity to live here safely, you know.
Yes, and so just to paint a little bit of a picture here, so you two have jobs?
I'm a mom.
Yep.
Mahbouba, yes, she have a job.
Well, that is a job in itself.
Yeah, and I applied. I'm not going to tell you I didn't apply, but most of the places, they ask for a visa for a permanent or citizen. So, yeah.
The reason why I've asked you this is because I just wanted to highlight how difficult it is for both of you financially.
It's so difficult because everywhere that you go, there is some people, they accept to like afford you a job, but most of them, they're asking for permanent visa or citizen. some people who afford the job, once they see your visa, that's it. They just don't afford you the job anymore.
It's really a very cruel policy, isn't it?
It is.
And yeah, even it, I was shocking 2 days ago, around 13th of September, when Andrew Joyce posted about the Iranian girls and women, and all MPs, and Andrew Joyce said, we stand up with the Iranian women and girls. I was shocking, and I said, please, Andrew, just look at us. We are here. Support us here, you know. We really need to, all MPs, Andrew Joyce, Claire O'Neill, knows about what's happening in Iran, what's happening in Afghanistan. And we've been here more than decades without any visa.
Well, look at what has been happening with Afghanistan and the Taliban.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, the same thing is happening to Iran.
Yeah.
Exactly. The same thing and worse. Like, there is too many stories of many, like, women who've been in prison. Like, it's heartbreaking that if you hear them, trust me, you can't stop, like, crying because of their stories. And as Mahbouba said, like, 1 week ago, I heard about what Dan Andrew said about the Iranian and the women and everything. But can you please just open your eyes and look at the women here who are suffering, who are working so hard, who are living so hard, but still without visa, without their rights? Can you look at them as well, like the way that you're talking about other women in Iran?
That's exactly right. I actually think this is really important. I'm just going to let people know again the details of the protest. So your group is 12,000 captive souls. Is that right?
Yeah. Yes.
And you're inviting politicians, the media, and the public to join you.
Yes.
And to listen to the stories, to understand the suffering endured by those living in the communities, and to recognise the dire need for action for permanent visas for all.
Yes, exactly.
It's very, very important. It's approximately 4:42, and I am having a really, really interesting discussion and a very important discussion with two very, very strong women, Iranian women, who are asylum seekers and are protesting along with other refugees and asylum seekers, isn't it, at Atherton Road, Oakley.
Yeah.
I'm just going to have a look at the address here again. Is the address 17 to 19 Atherton Road, Oakley, isn't it?
Yes.
And that is actually the office of Claire O'Neill.
Exactly.
Who is the Home Affairs Minister.
Yes.
So I wanted to offer you, and I have offered you over half an hour on the show because I think it's important. So let's just have one more look before we finish, because this is both your opportunity to shine a spotlight on this. Are there any other comments?
Not really, because you said everything.
That's good. That's good.
It's like quality and like stop all this discrimination against us and other residents. That's all we want. We want equality.
Okay, so we want equality. That's for sure. Equality for all. Okay, let's finish then. Let's conclude the interview by both of you giving your names and where you are from, so that we're clear. Do you want to start, Mariam?
Yeah, I'm Mariam. I'm from Iran and I'm 24 years. I came here once I was 13. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and I am Mahbouba, and I'm a mother with 3 children. I'm 42 years old.
It's so lovely to have the two of you on the show, and I will try and get down there this week. I'll have a chat to you both, maybe sometime tomorrow.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
So anybody that's listening to this show, rock up there, please, and support the asylum seekers and refugees, and we cannot forget the hunger strike as well, and go to 17 Atherton Road in Oakley, Victoria, outside the office of Claire O'Neill. the Home Affairs Minister.
Yeah.
Thanks so much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you for having us. And for everyone who is listening to us, please come here and stand with refugees. We want all of you to stand with us because, as we said, all we want is equality.
How many of you are there at the moment?
How many exactly? I'm not sure.
Not exactly, but roughly.
More than 70.
Yeah.
Like that.
70 of refugees?
Yes.
Wow.
From Sri Lanka, Afghanistan, Pakistan and Iran.
What I'd really like you two to do, if possible, is, Maggie, you've got my number, haven't you, Mahimi? If you could call me tomorrow and we're going to organise more interviews pretty soon.
Yeah, we've got lots of people with different story, and I'm really happy to invite them and talk to you, and because these days we need to media to being our voice. It's really important these days,
Absolutely. And I want to invite you two and others to come to the studio sometime soon. We'll work that out.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot. Say hello to Tanya for me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, both of you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. And that was Mariam and Mahimi, who are two asylum seekers speaking. They're from the refugee group 12,000 Captive Souls. They're an offshoot of the Refugee Action Collective, starting a week-long protest outside the office of Home Affairs Minister Claire O'Neill. We crossed over live to that protest, and the protest will run, I think, she said 8 a.m. to 5 p.m, each weekday at 17 to 19 Atherton Road, Oakley, Victoria.
3CR is about community, and we welcome your participation at the station.
3CR is open to a wide diversity of volunteers and is a great way to connect with Melbourne's activist community.
Have you ever thought about volunteering, doing a reception shift, getting a program on air,
training in radio skills, or contributing to one of the station's committees?
There are many ways to be involved at 3CR.
To find out more, go to 3cr.org.au and get in touch.
I see birds from up above, over walls I can't get past. These feelings of desperation, but I know that they won't last. Time is all I have. My past I leave behind, thinking out tomorrow, 'cause that's all that's on my mind. Dreaming of a place I'd rather be, for it's not that far away. Together with my friends and family is where I want to stay. Time is all I have. My past I'll leave behind. I'm thinking of tomorrow, 'cause that's all that's on my from up above, over walls I can't get past. Feelings of desperation, I know they won't last. Dreaming of a place I'd rather be, together with my friends and family. My brothers here beside me, our hearts will be together and our spirits will be free, free, free. Yeah. Time is all I have. My past I'll leave behind, thinking of tomorrow, my brother's here beside me. Our future's all I see. Our hearts will be together, and our spirits will be free, yeah. Time is all I have. My past I'll leave behind. Thinking of tomorrow, 'cause that's all that's on my mind. Time is all I have. My past I'll leave behind. I'm thinking of tomorrow, 'cause that's all that's on my mind. 'Cause that's all that's on my mind. 'Cause that's all that's on my mind. That's all that's on my mind.
3CR is about community, and we welcome your participation at the station.
3CR is open to a wide diversity of volunteers and is a great way to connect with Melbourne's activist community.
Have you ever thought about volunteering, doing a reception shift, getting a program on air?
Training in radio skills or contributing to one of the station's committees.
There are many ways to be involved at 3CR.
To find out more, go to 3cr.org.au and get in touch.
You might have heard about the Community Radio Plus app, but it's only when you start using it that you'll wonder how you lived without it.
You can listen to us wherever you are, at home, work, driving,
on public transport, gardening, protesting, or even in the bath.
Just search Community Radio Plus wherever you get your apps.
And you're back with the Doing Time show, and we're nearing the end of our show. It's Marissa taking you through until 5 o'clock this evening, and it's approximately 4:53, and I wanted to thank all of our guests for being interviewed today. The first up, we had Nicole Lee from People with Disability Australia, and she's the president of that organisation. And then after that, we crossed over to a live protest at Oakley. So the details again, 17 to 19 Atherton Road, Oakley. And they are highlighting and shining a spotlight on the fast track system and how people on bridging visas have been rejected and they're not able to work or study or have Medicare. Many, many children were at that protest, and this is happening over the week until Friday, the 22nd of September. So please support the asylum seekers and refugees in any way you can, and please try to turn up at the protest, 17 to 19 Atherton Road, Oakley. Really important for that to happen. So it's goodbye from Marissa, and you're listening to the Doing Time show. Thanks for your company. Tune in every Monday from 4 to 5 for the Doing Time show. And we're going to be going out now with our theme song, Black Fella, White Fella, by the Rumpy Band. And stay tuned next week. See you next week.
You've been listening to a 3CR podcast produced in the studios of independent community radio station 3CR in Melbourne, Australia. For more information, go to allthews.3cr.org.au.
Black fella, white fella, it doesn't matter what you color, as long as you a true fella, as long as you a real fella. All the people of different races with different lives in different places. It doesn't matter what your name is. We got to have lots of changes. It doesn't